Hey guys, it's Seb from Zulu8 and today I'm going to show you how to make this awesome gold texture dirt shader. So this is the scene I've got open right now. I've got a nice dragon and it's the baby dragon from Game of Thrones. It's an awesome scan. I downloaded it from yobi3d.com. That's yobi3d.com. I think it's like a website where they source out all these 3D scans all over the web in one place, and you can search whatever you like, download them. They're high res, they're awesome to work with. So I've also got a studio in here with some lighting systems and a camera. So if I look through the camera, this is what we get. So let's send the information to Octane. And let's just double check our settings. So path tracing, for samples at the moment I'll have it at 500, 8 diffuse, 8 specular. We can bump that up later once we're ready to render. Let's just create a texture for our Zyke at the moment. My original one, I think I had a very dark black, so probably put about 20%, and let's throw that on. And we can just name that blah blah. Awesome, looks great. So the first thing you want to do is create your base. So go into shader, C4D Octane, Octane material, and you want to make it glossy. Go down to your index, change that to 6, and then in your diffuse you want to bring this right down to about 10% black. Specular, you want this at about 30%, and 10% on whatever kind of dark base you want. In this case I'll use it like a blue. So in your roughness you want to go texture, C4D Octane, and you want to use your mix texture. And in your mix, you want to go into your mount and go, you want to load the texture of your rusty metal or whatever kind of metal texture that you've got. So let's load up image texture, go in here. I've got an awesome fingerprint one from Zomax. Chuck that in, come back out, and in texture one, you want to go down to Octane and you want to choose float texture, and you want a float texture for the second one as well. And so you want to set the first one to 0.5, well actually 0.1, your second one to 0.25, and you want to bring up the power of your image to about 9. So we start seeing this effect on the ball up here. And then in your bump channel, you want that same image texture that you've used. So it's Octane image texture. Grab that texture and let's bring this right down to 0.07. And now let's apply this to the dragon. And maybe let's change up the camera angle. Getting closer. See what's going on. So this is your base. The next step is to create your shiny, dirty texture that goes onto like the highlights of the dragon. So Octane material, go glossy. Let's bring that index up to 6 again. And then in your diffuse, you want to use that same mix texture. So mix texture, go in here, and you want to put your dirt into this channel, into your amount. So C4D Octane dirt. Then texture one, you just want RGB spectrum, and you want that on the second one as well. So you can click and drag these squares just to quickly copy them. Go into the bottom one, let's change this to black. Come back out, go into this one. So this will be the color of that shiny metal. So I liked gold. You can obviously change it to a bronze or whatever kind of metal or whatever wacky color you prefer. So I think I went like something like this. Let's come back, and in your dirt settings you want to change these. So you want to play with these, but I did 5, 100 detail, radius to 0.7, and then 0.1, and you want to invert the normal. Play with these settings, figure out what works best with your model if it's a different scale. Let's just drag this texture over our dragon to see what's happening. And so what we should see is this crazy shiny goldish looking thing. So we just want the dirt part of it. So we need to go into the opacity, and what you do is copy this channel. So in the diffuse you want to copy this mix texture, go into your opacity and paste it in, and in here you just want to change your texture 1 to a pure white, just so that we get a cleaner alpha, a cleaner opacity. So this is essentially the dirt that will be going over our base. So once we have that, the base and then the dirt, we need to mix the two. So you go shader, C4D Octane, Octane mix material, open this up. Let's put your, we can rename these now, base, and we can name this one shiny dirt, and let's drag your base at the bottom and your dirt, excuse me. Yep, just bit. Okay, then shiny dirt over the top. So if we play with this amount, you go to one end. If you're familiar with it, it will be, in this case, the base. It's not updating as fast as I hoped. But you go one end, you will get that base material. You go to the other end, you get the shiny dirt material. So it's not a true mix. It's either one or the other. So to make it a true mix, you need to click text, and we need to copy the same opacity channel that we've been using for the shiny dirt. So go into your shiny dirt material, go to the opacity, and copy this shader. And I don't think we put the index up. Oh, we did. So then go back into your mix and let's paste it. And let's throw that mix on to our dragon and see what we get. Beautiful. So this is the start. This is essentially how you do it with just two shaders, but now we can layer the shaders to add a little more effect. So let's create a second material, or a third material. Go Octane. This will be your, it's your kind of rusty dirt. So this is like not the shiny part. This is going to be on parts more so the black all over it, just to give it that more authenticity. So we can name this rusty. I've forgotten what the index was at, but let's glossy, and I think, yeah, index will be 3. Diffuse, we'll make another mix texture, and then in here you want to load basically another texture map that's different from the other one, so we don't get the same sort of result. So let's just load up your image texture. I've got this cool one, and there's 2 cool ones here, but I like this one. And I think we'll just go back, and this needs to be a RGB spectrum, and this will just be a float, and bring your float to 0, make it black, and this will basically be the color of that rust that kind of added more effect. So let's make it like a rusty color. This is kind of like a brown orangey thing, and if we just drag this over our dragon, this is what we're getting. So it's kind of way too shiny, it's all over the place, and this is because we don't have any opacity yet. So in the diffuse you want to, I'm not sure if we copy the whole channel, I think we can just copy the texture. So in your texture, just copy this channel, go opacity, paste the shader, and we're not getting exactly what we wanted. Tick invert, and then maybe we can put up the power to make it a cleaner result. Cool, so that is a whole lot better. Let's change the projection. We can do this later, but I prefer cubic. So it's kind of just like doing it everywhere equally, which is nice. Yeah, awesome. That's a great texture. So now we need to mix that last mix material with this shader on top. So the same sort of procedure. We go Octane material, a mix material. Jump in here, let's put your mix, our original mix as the base, then put the rusty shader on top, and in the amount we've got to copy the same opacity channel from the rusty. Let's go into rusty, let's copy this, go into your mix, and let's paste it in. So now when we drag this over our dragon, we should get the result we're looking for. Very nice, very cool. So we got this rustiness randomly all over. We've got this gold texture showing, highlighting nice parts of it. Obviously I encourage you to play with the settings. Obviously it's different with every model. Definitely check out that website. They've got some awesome scans. So this is what I'm getting at the moment. What I would change would probably increase the amount of gold. So if we go back into our shiny rusty dirt texture, you can go into your dirt settings. I might set this to about, let's just go wild. Let's go 2 centimeters. And whenever you change the dirt shader in the diffuse, you've also got to change it in the opacity and in the opacity for the mix. So let's do that now. Let's go into your opacity, put the radius up to 2, and then into our Octane mix, and bring that up to 2. So we should see a lot more gold, and you can obviously change the color. So if you wanted more of I don't know, some sort of wacky blue, what's kind of bronzy? That's alright. Let's go back to our render cam, and we have a good looking dragon. And so I think this is how you do it in Octane. It's beautiful, it's really nice. You can get all sorts of effects. I remember I added, just for my one, I just created a new material, gave it an emission, a black body emission, tick surface brightness. I think I brought this down to like 50, and then I applied that to the dragon, but for only its eyes. So if I drag this selection, which I think is the eyes, it should just affect the eyes instead of the whole thing. Cool. So that's how you do it, guys. If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe for more. Seb from Zulu 8. Thanks for watching.